Hey, y'all. Welcome to episode 169. Resellers, one size does not fit all.
True.
Totally doesn't.
I know.
Doesn't.
All right, let's just get real, because let's talk about what started this conversation. Molly went away on vacation. I got my panties all in a bunch because
you were extra determined.
Oh yeah, yes. Samantha said I was extra determined. I was super frustrated by some of the advice floating out there, and people taking advice without maybe vetting who they were listening to. And, just because something's working for, Susie doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And just that, like, distilling all that information and seeing people take maybe bad advice. And I just found I found myself just being very overwhelmed and very frustrated with the whole thing. So I was like, we got to get to the root of this. One size does not fit all. We work with all sorts of different sellers, all walks of life. And yeah, and Samantha was like, all right, well, when we coach people, like, we absolutely go by that. Like, it is specific to that person and that reseller. And sometimes we're talking to people and trying to get out some of these ideas out of their head that have been so, like, instilled, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, all right, that's where it started. Samantha talked me down, but I still want to talk about this. I still want to talk about it.
We decided we couldn't just be something we talk amongst ourselves. We couldn't just bring it up here and there in our mastermind. Dadgummit, we need an episode. We need an episode. We feel like this is such a broad issue in the reseller community that we need a full-blown daggum episode. So
yeah.
Well, and I think that's what makes our mastermind so different from others is we are so diverse. And you don't come into our mastermind and we're like, okay, you need to do things this way, or this is best practice, do this. We give advice and we talk as a group, and we have people that list 5 things a day because they work 3 other jobs. We have people that, work 70 hours a week and have a warehouse and employees and whatever, and we have people that have brick and mortars and people that are doing hobbies. Like, it's so diverse. And as we go through each person each week, it's really like, just, okay, what are your hurdles in your business and how can we brainstorm how to get through those, instead of just a cookie cutter for every single person, because we're all different cookie cutters.
Everybody's different. Yeah. This was where my quote came when Libby and I were discussing this a couple of weeks ago, because my husband will always tell me when I get nervous about speaking at a conference or have those rare moments where I put somebody on a pedestal. No, I really don't, because I don't believe in that. But
we're going to get into that. We're going to go ahead and we are going to deep dive into that. I'm getting fired up again. See what you
That's
did?
Like one of my biggest pet peeves. I am not a fangirl person. I do not put people on a pedestal. I don't like it, but I do get nervous about things. And so when I get nervous about presenting is the big thing. If I have to present in front of somebody, and my husband will say to me, just remember, we all put our pants on one leg at a time, which is true. But then the other day, talking to Libby, I took it another step further in this particular conversation. Yes, we're all resellers. We're all putting our pants on one leg at a time. However, the size, the cut, the shape, and the style of those pants are all very different. So keep that in mind. That is like the biggest thing. We've always talked about comparison with people. And I think nowadays there's so many options and places out there for you to come together face-to-face or on screen face-to-face with other resellers, that it's easy to go down a hole and feel like when they're talking about what their business is doing and you're not doing the same, to start judging yourself on that. Stop it.
Oh, wow. Okay. There you have it, folks.
The other thing is, somebody was asked my store name the other day. I was giving some advice, I'm doing whatever. Somebody asked my store name, and I joked and I said, "Oh, are you going to eBay stock me?" And they got super like, "Oh my gosh, like, I just like to look at people's stores and like see what their listings look like and like." And I'm like, good, that's good. Like, I'm giving you advice. Go look at my store. And yeah, like, that's how you make sure that somebody's legit and what they're talking about. I have visual examples, thousands of them. Go look. Like,
Yeah, I think that's a really, I always look at people's, stores. If I'm listening to advice whether it's their eBay store, whether it's their in-person store, if I'm going to listen to somebody and take their advice, I'm going to check out who they are. And I think that's a really important point. We put a link to our stores, not because we want shoppers in our show notes. We know you're not buying from us. We know you're not our target audience.
You're not
our ideal customers. Yeah.
Sorry, guys, you're not. But we put our link to our stores in the show notes so that you can see what we do. And you can say, hey, I like what she's doing here. I like this piece of it. Maybe I'll ask for advice, or maybe I'll listen to, Samantha's advice on this. She does this really well. Or maybe you'll say, you know what? I don't care for the way Libby is doing that. I'm not going to, that's not something I'm going to look to her for advice for. And, that's great. We should all be doing that more.
Yes. I also think that, okay, I'm going to try to get this all out in words. You know how I always get twisted when I talk about stuff, trying to get my point across, but there's so much on social media now that people can make themselves to be whatever they want to be. You can make yourself a quote expert in the field, which is why I hate using that term, because I feel like there are a lot of people that throw out expert in the field. And when you do your due diligence, they're really not. Mm-hmm. That just, they found a place that had an audience that they could target to make some money off of, and they put themselves out there like that. And so I remember way back when, Libby, when you would tell me you have to look at who you're getting your advice from. And I thought, you know what, it's true. Like most anything else you do, you go to the store and there's a new product on the shelf at the grocery store. You typically look at the ingredients before you throw it in your cart, right? Like it's the same kind of thing. Mm-hmm. If you are going to base your business decisions, your baby, your heart and soul of what you're doing on somebody, take that time to really dig deep on who they are. Do you want to base your business on a consignment seller that only has 5 consigners? Probably not, right? Like you want to base it on somebody who's been in it for years, has multiple consigners, and is showing that they're a great, successful business. Now, I'm not saying, and I want to back this up a step, that you're not going to learn from those people, because there are people new in the business that can give amazing advice. I have learned from people, and I've been in the business for many a year, and there's newbies that come in that say something that I never thought of. And I'm like, holy moly, let me get
all the time,
right?
All the time.
And even if they only have 5 consigners, 1 consigner, whatever it is, maybe that is we have several people that we work with, that 1 consigner is another company that they're getting all that they can handle from that. And it's a relationship that they have that works great for both parties. But make sure that they're listing consistently, that they are putting up quality things. Like there's so many pieces to the puzzle before you just jump all in.
Yeah, I think it's make sure that their business model matches what your vision for your business model is. My business model is very different from Libby and Samantha's business model. Mm-hmm. I don't look to have 100+ consigners. It's not where I am right now in my business. So I am the person with 5 consigners. However, if you backtrack on my history, I have 12 years in the consignment business and have managed hundreds of consigners in the past. So I do know what I'm doing, and I do have the knowledge, but it's knowing, it's doing that. And I thought about that the other day, and I'm like, it's just like buying something that you purchase off the floor. You know, you're going to order that shirt from somewhere. You want to look at the content of the fabric before you buy it. Are you a lover of cotton? You want to buy the one with cotton, not the polyester.
Yeah.
Read, know what you're getting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, a lot of YouTubers, and we'll use Harry Tornado as an example, are very upfront, right? They're YouTubers first, right? They're influencers. They are, so listen to that when somebody's telling you that. There's a lot of really, reputable people out there that are, giving reselling advice, but at the same time telling you, hey, you know what, this isn't where I was coming from. So shout out to all those people that are super upfront, those influencers, those YouTubers. But guess what? There's some that aren't upfront about it and will lead you to believe that their business is different than it actually is. So
they give you those numbers at the end of the month. Yeah. Their numbers aren't their reselling business, their YouTube business and their reselling business combined. So you have to,
but it's a really good hook when you say, I make 7 figures.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you really?
Yeah.
But do you?
All right. So listen to you. I mean, I'm never offended if somebody looks at my stuff and, you know, has a critique, a suggestion, a question, like, go ahead, do it. I put myself out there and go ahead, ask me.
Yeah.
Like Samantha wasn't offended when somebody looked at her store. No, that's exactly what we feel that you should be doing.
Yes.
And if you find an error in my store, I am terrible at spelling things wrong, or maybe a picture got snuck in there that, you know, was blurry. Tell me. I love that too. I'm throwing things up there. Tell me about it. Like, nobody's perfect, but at the same time, make sure you know who you're talking to.
We have these conversations in listings all the time. Sometimes it's the other resellers that are our best educators. If we get an item in that we don't know something about, you can go through, and I'm saying this from experience, you can go through that perfectionist tunnel of can't put it up till I know everything about it. Can't put it up till I know everything about it. I got to know what I'm doing before I put it up. No, you don't. Because sometimes you can put it up with the little knowledge and put the little knowledge that you know and be honest that you don't know a lot about it. And 9 times out of 10, those collectors that do know about it are going to send you a message and tell you about it. And then you get to learn from them. Yeah. And that's not offensive either. I'm glad people are out there looking at that stuff and able to give me that information. Now, double check that information, because sometimes that's not always the right information.
Yeah,
you can't believe everything
that happens too.
Yeah. So another thing with this, you want to vet the people that you're listening to. You want to make sure they're legit, that they're running the same type of business or similar model that you truly want to model after, things like that. And then the other side of it is, we see so much in groups where I come in and I say, you know, I changed my inventory. I'm going to do it on shelves now. I used to do it in totes. I'm just going to put everything on shelves. And all of a sudden 10 people are like, shelves sound great. I'm going to go buy shelves. I'm going to take everything out of totes. And it's like that every day or every week with a different idea or a different thing. The next person comes in and says, I'm just going to hang everything. Oh, hanging sounds great. I'm going to go buy hangers. And it's like, calm down, take pieces, and truly like sit down and think about your workflow and implementing things. And I mean, some things you do have to overhaul and revamp. Totally get that. It depends on your situation and your style and what's going on. But some things you just want to slide edge it. You want to just take little pieces, do little bits of it. And maybe that hanging every single item is not a good idea, but maybe it works for just part of your business. So just take that and take it in chunks, and then other things are on shelves and other things are in totes, and do just little snippets of things and not just throw yourself into every new idea that you hear from the latest and greatest person.
Yeah. Yeah. First of all, Libby, aren't you proud of her that she threw Slide Edge out there, the book club?
I almost interrupted, but I didn't want to because she was on.
Aren't you proud of her? I knew, I could see the pride beaming from your eyeballs. Like, that's my girl. She just said Slide Edge.
Yes, book club, folks.
Second of all, again, what Samantha was just saying, I want to go back to remind you that if somebody tells you about something they're doing, it sounds great. Sometimes it's just okay to say, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you found something that works for you.
Yeah.
Not feeling like that means you have to change what you're doing. Just go, oh my God, isn't that great? Like, I think when we hear something new, it's that new shiny thing. We feel like, well, am I missing out if I don't do it? Am I doing something wrong? No, if it's been working for you, it's right.
Yeah.
That person's space and where they're doing their workflow and how they're doing it is completely different than the space you are working in. So sometimes instead of feeling that need to just take that grateful thing and say, oh my gosh, that sounds awesome. That's got to feel good that you figured that out. And
if you're thinking about doing it, why don't you wait 3 months and see how they're doing in 3 months with it? If
right.
Go to the new system and they're really excited about it. Maybe just wait a little bit and see how it pans out.
I think we should all bank on the Consignment Chat's 3-month rule.
Yeah.
No matter what you do. If you're looking at somebody else's, give them 3 months. If you're doing it, give it 3 months. That's our Consignment Chat's golden rule.
Yes,
give it 3 months.
Definitely. And like I can say, even I've moved my business 5 times, I think, which, you know, that's a lot to move a business. But each time I've moved, my needs have been different. My process has been different. And, you know, even what I did in my previous space is not what I'm doing in my current space. The same things do not work. And they're, I mean, I've had fairly similar spaces, but even like little things, like I have to, what was working for me before doesn't work for me now.
Space. And you know what I love, Libby? This is one of the things that I love about us and about our group and about even our Patreon is that a lot of the things that you implemented in your new space, you learned from people that have only been selling for a few years in our Patreon who come to us for advice. Because why? We don't know it all. Like, we're not the be all end all, and nobody is. That's what we want to put across to you. Nobody is. That person you're putting on a pedestal for the love of all good, don't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I put you guys on a pedestal, and then like I joined you, and I was like, oh, why did I do that? Jeez.
They're just putting their pants on one leg at a time,
right? And sometimes I find out I did a whole recording, and she didn't even have on pants. And then I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh, I love podcasts and recordings. It's great.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely one size doesn't fit all. I had another thought there and I lost it. Darn it.
Well, I mean, we talk about comparing businesses and stuff too. Even for you and I, Libby, a lot of our systems are similar or the same, or we bounce ideas back and forth each other and we tweak little things here and there because we use, you know, Consign Cloud the same. We use ListPerfectly in certain ways. And even though a lot of that is similar, your business is 10 times the size of mine. You have employees, you have a different daily schedule. Like there's still so many differences. And I know I don't anymore, but for a little while I was like, oh, my numbers should be bigger, my this, my that. We do things the same. Why isn't mine? No, your store's huge. And I don't want a huge store. I don't want employees. I don't want to have 10,000 items. I have 13 almost 1,400 items right now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know about this. Like, so why would I compare to yours? Like,
why would you? Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a nightmare, my store. No, I'm just kidding.
It doesn't work for me.
That doesn't work for you. Right. It works for me. Yeah. Correct. So what I love about Mastermind and like we always learn from people is literally I had an issue when I was moving. Like, I don't know, like my inventory, I don't know how to do this. I literally threw that out to our group. Right. And people just were like, well, I do it this way. Or have you ever considered this? It totally revolutionized. Shout out, Billy. Thank you so much. But it totally revolutionized. I just threw the idea out there and all that came back to me was just wonderful suggestions. And I just modified that to fit what I needed. And oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Game changer.
Yeah. Again, it's not that you don't get and learn from people. We learn things from everybody every day. One of the things I love about the business we're in and where we are both in our own reselling businesses and in consignment chats is the nonstop learning. I love it. I love it every day from somebody in our group, something somebody says in a motivation in minutes in the morning, there's always something I learn from. But I only take the things that work for me in my business or me for what I need emotionally that day. If it's a motivational thing and sometimes somebody says just the right thing that I needed for that day. Or, you know, we find that all the time when we get in our motivation in minutes in the morning and we're like, well, my word is, what did that happen today? My word is such and such. Well, my word is such and such. Oh my gosh, never mind. I want her word. That's perfect.
Right? That actually fits the mood way better.
Right? I mean, we pick stuff up that works for us, but you don't pick up things that don't work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't want people to reinvent the wheel. We want you to use your resources, use your communities, listen to the people that you want to listen to and absorb what you can. just vet those people to make sure you're listening to the right things and that they're actually, you know, if you're listening to somebody that's just talking about all the ways that you should list things on Poshmark, then it turns out that they were banned from Poshmark 3 years ago. Maybe you shouldn't listen to them about Poshmark. Maybe you should listen to them about Mercari. I don't know, but just make sure that you're vetting people a little bit.
Let's just put it out. There is no end all be all. There is no one way to do things. It is not magic. It is not rocket science. It is as simple as if you list it, it's going to sell. You list, you sell. Like there's little things you can do in between there, but there's nothing magic about anything. It's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah. I'm so tired of the A word algorithm. Things. I'm so tired.
Oh, sorry. It's the belgorithm. We should know.
I'm so tired of that word because everything that I've ever learned about, well, if you do this, you get sales. And if you do that, you get these sales. And then 9 times out of 10, you do it. And, you know, it's not consistent. I mean, we ourselves, between the three of us, have tested theories before to find out it's really not all that.
It's a distraction a lot of times. It's a distraction.
Yes.
Yeah.
And list your items. List them. List what you can list and do what you can do and get your sales.
Yep.
Do you know the best way to list is to make sure that you join our Patreon page and you come list with us every Wednesday afternoon for 2 hours. We have a Zoom just like this where you can come in, and whether you're working in your brick and mortar store or you're doing online sales or you're just bored and want to talk to somebody, you come on in. You list with us and do your listings. It's great.
It is.
We interrupted this program for a commercial by Samantha Pratt.
That's the most scripted sounding thing I've ever done in my life, and it wasn't at all.
It was. I was impressed, though. I think you could have a career doing that.
Right?
Yes.
Oh, God.
You're a new spokesmodel. I love it. So let's talk about Patreon for just 1 second. So we have a Patreon. We have our free private Facebook community, which is accessible to everyone. All of our content is free. YouTube, otherwise we don't put anything behind a paywall. We're really dedicated to serving the community in that way. Patreon is just like an added extra bonus. There's free memberships. You can log on and see, what we're up to. But then if your business is able to support it and you feel like you're going to get the value out of it, we recommend that you join it. It's no obligation is what I want to say. And I feel that, the way we serve people is you can join it if your business can support it and if you're getting the value out of it. We make sure that you get the value out of it if you choose to do so. So I just want to put that out there. So it's not really, it's to provide a more personal setting where we can talk numbers and things like that. It is not like a money maker or anything like that. It is to serve the community, and it is to allow us the time to work with you in a private, smaller space. Does that sound?
So
yes,
that's absolutely correct. And Molly and I had a question this morning on our ListPerfectly party. We said something about an event we're going to be doing in Patreon. Right there, Listapalooza's coming, and by the time this airs, it'll be like a couple days away. Yes. So Molly had mentioned that and gave them a little sneak peek that we're going to do our spring break Listapalooza, and that we're going to try to shift Listapaloozas into Patreon. We do that for privacy reasons. We do it because there are people that own brick and mortars and people that have consigners on Facebook and things like that. And Facebook is constantly changing who sees what and how you set things up. And we know Patreon is our people in Patreon. So we thought it would just be easier to move some things over there. If you want to see those, you subscribe to the free level and they will all be free posts in there, just like they are in our Facebook group. It's just easier for us to control and make sure that we are putting the posts out to the right people. So a lot of people said that this morning. They were like, I thought you had to pay for Patreon. There is that free level. We will be moving some stuff over there. We'll put lots of information about it in our community, but don't be scared to just go over there. You do not have to pay us. You do not have to do that. Do not feel obligated. No.
And there's an
app. We'll win things. There's that.
So right now what she's saying is stop go to consignmentchats.com. Stop, unless you're Candace and you're driving, don't stop.
Don't stop, Candace, except for the red lights.
Don't stop in the middle of the road, but go to consignmentchats.com and go ahead and join that and load that, because if you want to participate in things like the Spring Break Listapalooza,
that is so cute. Oh my gosh.
All of that.
It looks great.
You're going to find all that there, and that's where you'll find all the motivation from people helping and cheering each other on, and our goals and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. We picked Easter weekend, didn't we?
Is it Easter weekend? I don't know. I just went with the whole spring thing. So
you did good. It is Easter weekend, but we picked it because it is the end of Q1, and we want to give that last push to get you guys going and make sure that you finish Q1 strong, and we hop into Q2 feeling good.
Honestly, y'all, I picked it because I have a lot to do before I go on the reseller relaxation cruise and I need to get all these things in the book. So that was the best weekend, because also during that time we got to put in our our reseller coloring book contest. Yes. So if you haven't purchased your reseller coloring book yet, you want to grab that, because we're going to have a coloring contest.
Yes.
So
that is in our Amazon store.
People's kids home. People's kids are home to help them list or photograph. I mean, this could be a really good thing.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to hurry up and list those items and get them out of the way for the people coming over for Easter dinner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do it.
And then you should put a reseller coloring book in their Easter baskets.
Oh, that's what I'm going to save. The one my mom made me order for her. Everybody was here. It was their 50th anniversary, and mine arrived. My parents' 50th anniversary, when the reseller coloring book arrived that day. They saw the mailman bring it in, and so I opened it up, and they were just like, "Oh, that is so cool! I love it! I want one."
Good.
Like, I'll get you one. Don't worry.
And they're not resellers?
No.
You don't have to be
cool.
a reseller.
Yeah, right?
Oh, I know. My 16-year-old daughter is pumped about hers. She's super. I mean, mostly because she had some input, and she's like, I told her to do that page. Like that.
That's my page. Yeah, she did.
So I want to talk about Patreon for just a second. Let's circle back to that and why we're moving stuff over to Patreon, because we are following our own advice. The advice we give, we do not own Facebook. People can get booted off Facebook, and we want our community to have an alternative in case something was ever to happen with Facebook. You just don't know. It's not under your control. Patreon is our thing. It is under our control. So that's one of the reasons we're doing that, is we're following our own advice and not putting all our eggs in a basket that we really don't own, and we don't have a lot of control over. Anybody that runs a Facebook group or pretty much is on Facebook knows that they change stuff constantly, that people can get arbitrarily removed, companies, things like that. Yeah. So we're following our own advice. We tell you to do that with your business, and we're doing it with C-Chat. So we will still be on Facebook as long as it's there, but we're taking care of you and making sure we can serve no matter what happens.
Absolutely.
So did we get on the kick about putting people on a pedestal?
I was just going to hand you the soapbox. I was just getting ready. Here.
We kind of Molly. All these sidekick things, because Samantha did her impromptu commercial, which was just awesome.
So Molly is getting up on her soapbox as we speak. For those of you listening on podcasts and you only have audio, she's getting on the soapbox. It is not a pedestal. A pedestal. It is a soapbox. So
I do not get on pedestals, and I do not put people on pedestals, y'all. Seriously. I feel like, and I may offend a lot of people, and if I do, I'm sorry. This is my feeling. When I see people put people on pedestals, I feel like that's then putting you below somebody. And dadgummit, you are not below anybody. Yes. So you don't need to put people on a pedestal. Please don't. You are an amazing person in and of yourself. You bring amazing things to the table. You can admire what somebody does. You can appreciate who they are or what they offer. But when I see people put people up on, and I feel like there's this background music and there's this, this person talked to me and told me to do this. No. And I got to tell you, it's really uncomfortable if you're the one that receives some of that and has somebody, oh my gosh, it's uncomfortable. Not many people, some people do, but there are not many people that want to be put on a pedestal. People like to be appreciated for their knowledge, for their talents, but nobody wants, I can't say nobody, most people are not comfortable with being put on a pedestal.
I may joke about my face needing to be everywhere all the time. I actually just had someone text me and they're like, that snippet of you with your face on that website looks great. I like my face to be everywhere. However, I don't want to be on a pedestal. I am just a normal woman struggling to juggle a family and a business and a husband and whatever.
And a dog the size of a horse.
A dog that is a house pony. And I just want people to learn from my mistakes and like grow with me and like do this journey with me. And I'm going to tell you what I did that didn't work or did work. And I want you to do the same. And we're going to learn from each other. And we're going to take little snippets of each other's learning curves and maybe incorporate them into our businesses. That's it.
After we watch you for 3 months. Amen, sister.
Wow. Wow. You didn't even hand her that soapbox. She got right up there. She was like,
I gave her half of it to jump up with me. I scooted over just a little and said, get on up here, girl. I feel bad when people do it because I feel like when you do that, you push yourself down a level. And damn it, you don't need to be down a level.
I never thought of it quite like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing is you're, all right. Yeah.
No.
All right.
Molly has literally
so you guys
like elbowed me. Yeah, she's literally elbowed me and she's like, don't look at that person like that. Don't no.
Don't you do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you guys tease me about doing that with Orlando, the Pure Hustle podcast. I always they'll always be like, oh, I'm like, I'm a fangirl, but not really. I mean, he's just a normal person. We just have a lot of fun with it if you hear us joking about it.
Absolutely. But, it's fun to joke with, but please don't do that to heart with somebody because you may not realize it until you think about it, but you do feel it inside in a negative way down the road. So don't do it. If you got to put anybody on the pedestal, put yourself on a pedestal for whatever accomplishments that you made that day, because no matter what you did something good. So there you pat yourself on the back, celebrate the small wins and put yourself on a pedestal.
Definitely. You put your face out there. Just do it. It's fine.
Just put your face on everything like Samantha. I always like to put our faces on just so I can hear Samantha say, and there's our faces.
Which it is on the back of the reseller coloring book. My daughter now carries her the opposite way so people don't see her mom's face on the back of the coloring book, but she does carry the coloring book everywhere. So it's great.
That's funny. That's funny.
Oh my God. How many years was it before I put my face on my business?
Oh my gosh. 10?
Oh, same for me. It was the same. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've talked about that before, y'all. If you're wondering why that's important, because who was it that said it? You can never outsource your face. People want to connect.
Adair Palmer. Yep.
People want to connect with the person.
Yeah.
If you are putting your face out there, then your shoppers are going to connect with you, and that is building that trust.
It made such a huge difference. Such a huge difference. And I have to say, I was a little, I was a lot insecure about it because when I thought about it, I really didn't, I don't like number one, I don't like the attention, but number two, I didn't want people to think that I wanted the attention, right? By putting my face everywhere. And really I was, doing my business a disservice by not putting my face out there, but I was
really do it, y'all. So we do it so people will put us on a pedestal.
I mean, really,
I was afraid of that people would think I was trying to be,
Yeah, I like the attention. So no, but I mean, it's true. Your face draws attention to your business, and you do want your business out there. You want people to notice and take note of your business. So yeah, that's the best way to show them who you are. Don't go on there and start whining about something and get super, super personal about something. They don't need to know you that well. They just need to know what your pretty little face looks like. That's a whole nother episode, but
but they do need to know you and maybe about your house pony dog. Yeah.
Yes.
They love.
It's all about the great names.
Everybody loves a dog social media post.
I did 2 of them yesterday for my business. Yeah, Chummy was in the spotlight.
I saw him all curled up. It was so cute. Yeah.
All right. So to wrap this episode up, y'all, important points. Vet those that you take information from and put towards your business. If you are going to listen to them and make changes in your business, make sure that their business model is something and their business is in the place of what you are looking to do.
Oh, but first, give us the thumbs up before you go vet our stuff.
I love the way y'all just keep throwing this stuff right in there. Bim, bim, bim,
You want to give us a thumbs up before you look at our stores and see if you want to take our advice.
That, and remember, we do all put our pants on one leg at a time, but our style and size are very different. Keep that in mind.
And sometimes we're not wearing pants. I'm sorry.
Sometimes we don't even wear pants. You'll never know it because you can't see it, but you know it does happen. And yeah, don't put people on a pedestal. Just don't do it.
Also, go to consignmentchats.com. Join our Patreon, even for the free perks. We're going to have competitions. We're going to have friendly competitions. We're going to have prizes. Yes, Spring Break Listapalooza. It is coming. We are doing it. And we heard this morning that we should really be adding more Starbucks gift cards to our prize packages.
Yes, we did.
That's probably going to be a thing.
Starbucks is coming back into the game because that gift card was missed in the last Listapalooza. So Starbucks is coming back into the game, y'all.
All right. Who knew? Okay, glad. See? Our community tells us.
And that's what we love, y'all. We love to hear from you. So put those comments in and give us your feedback because we do love to hear from you.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, until next time.
Ooh.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining Libby, Molly, and Samantha, the ladies of Consignment Chats, as we build a resourceful community of collaborative resellers. Find all the ways to connect with us on consignmentchats.com. Episodes are available on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcasts. In addition, join our free private Facebook community.